And now, broadcasting live from the Darkroom Studio at Craven Community College, it's In the Know.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to In the Know. Maybe you can hear me. We've got some studio fun going on today. I'm Craig Ramey, host of the show In the Know, but I don't do this by myself.
Good morning, Craig. I think we have little gremlins that are
We might.
causing some technical issues, but that's all right. We plow through them.
It's one of those days. You know, we were off last week because of the snow.
Yes.
And anytime you're away from the studio for a week, there's always little gremlins that will crawl in,
Yes.
and they'll find their ways through things. So we started a little late today. We got a little buzz in our ears, but that doesn't matter.
Yes, and Joseph, we're not sure if they heard you, but again, welcome to In the Know here at Craven Community College at the Dark Room Studio.
That's
at
right.
Public Radio East in our New Bern campus. That is a mouthful, but now you have the location.
You've got all the information you need.
You know where to find
You
me.
can find us, yes. And then we got our help in the studio. I don't know if his mic is working or not, but we'll say hello anyway. We got Joseph in there. Hey, Joseph.
Good morning. And Holly, good morning.
Hello.
Hey,
Can
good
you hear
morning.
me?
Yeah,
We can
got
hear you.
Yeah,
That's good.
morning.
I don't know what was happening earlier.
We
Yeah.
had some issues at Houston.
Yeah, that's all right. Good morning, Holly. Good to see you. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
So we also have some special guests with
Yeah,
us,
we
as
do.
we always do. But these are extra special. We've been cutting up and having a good time so far. So would you like to introduce them? Because I'm gonna bring the fun early and have them join us.
I love this hand motion right here. We're
Bringing the fun.
We're bringing the fun. Well, we got our friends from the foundation today. We got Charles Wethington, our executive director of the foundation, and Christina Bowman, assistant director of the foundation. Welcome to the show once again.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you notice how you put on your radio voice when you introduced
That's right.
Charles?
Stand by.
Charles makes us do that. And of course, those who don't know, Charles worked here in Public Radio East for many years.
26 years.
I'd call that many. Yeah,
So-
that's a lot.
Many.
You are at home.
Yeah, that's right. So he always loves when he comes over into the studio. It's
And,
a little
yeah.
homecoming for him. Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you guys for joining us.
thanks for having
You
us.
ready for
Pleasure to be
something
here.
fun? So,
Absolutely.
so
Yes.
I set stuff up earlier, and Charles said,
It looks like it's National Dolly Day. That's what I'm going with, or National Cloth Napkins and
I
and
don't
accessories.
know. Joseph, does the camera show what I got set up over here? Not really, does it? So I'm
Little
gonna
bit.
reveal.
Oh,
Oh,
can we help you through review?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. So today is National Croissant Day.
Croissant.
Croissant Day.
There's no T at the end.
Croissant.
Croissant.
There you go.
Croissant. So, in the United States, National Croissant Day, recognized for its flaky pastry enjoyed at every meal. Do you have a croissant at every meal?
Every single meal.
Croissants are buttery, crescent-shaped rolls. They are crisp on the outside and soft in the middle. This is the key to a perfect croissant is laminating the dough. I actually watched a video. It's very cool. So if you haven't ever seen somebody laminate the dough, you might want to watch it. You can go on YouTube and just how to make a croissant.
Tastes good. Sounds bad.
It does. No, so it's layers of folding butter into the dough itself, and then creating multiple thin layers of. And that's why, like when we bite into it, and we're going to bite into it in a minute, you can see it's like multiple little spinning layers.
Okay.
So it's called laminating.
All right.
Yes, and that butter helps to create that airy, flaky body. While most of us know it as a French specialty, the croissant actually originated in Austria. This is something I learned. This is really cool. Under the name of Kiflers, Marie Antoinette first introduced the Austrian pastry to France when she married into the royal family and requested the simple cake in the crescent shape of her homeland. The French bakers created a fancier version of the Kiflers, and thus the croissant was born. And they were heavier, more condensed, like almost like a scone. The other ones. It was sophisticated, influenced cuisine style of the country. Of course, they used a lot of butter in France. It's in their baking and cooking. At its most basic level, it's a frugal kind of breakfast pastry made of, I'm gonna butcher this, but I'm gonna try. Pâté foilette. Say it again for me, Christina. Flotte?
Flûte.
Which
nice.
means soft flour, yeast, butter, milk, and salt. So I want you guys to get your National Croissant Day, and you can say "oi" to this buttery treat.
Oi or we?
Oi, because
Oi.
it didn't originate
Oh.
from France.
Oi,
So oi?
Oi.
Okay. Oi.
Right. Oi.
oi. Okay, so
I love
oi.
croissants.
now I'm going. You know me. I have to let's butter down. Let's back down to last week's podcast. So if you haven't seen it, you're gonna have to go back and watch it. We talked about our antique folks, right?
Yes.
Do you
Oh,
remember
the bead thing.
the bead things? What were they called? Do you remember?
Willamini's?
Candlewick.
Okay.
So
I got a W in there.
So
Right?
this is Candlewick for all those that we've talked about last week, and so it's clear crystal, and it has these little tiny glass beads on it. This just happens to be like a little fruit bowl. It was the fastest thing for me to grab. So if you don't, and look at my little luncheon plate. Right. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to pass it down to our guests, and I'm got my beautiful little linens. I told you I had an issue. They're very beautiful. So Charles, there is one for you.
You are, sir.
Charles, what's on your little handmade linen there on the top?
Do you want a different one? Oh, I'm going to give Christina a different one.
Yeah, I want a different one.
Yes.
Oh, it's a bouquet.
You can show them. It's a hand crocheted bouquet.
Oh, look how pretty.
I can't identify that.
It's a flower.
It looks like a tornado with some type of yellow stuff on top.
It's a beautiful flower,
That's a
Charles.
tisket. That's a tasket.
A tisket, a
tasket.
It's a tisket, a tasket.
A green and yellow basket.
Yes.
That's what you got.
Okay.
Right.
There,
Yes.
for
and
me.
there,
Okay,
yes,
thank
and
you.
you've got
Can
beautiful.
I ask for a clarification? You said
Yes.
that we had a
Thank you.
croissant with every meal, but we don't have a meal. Where's the meal that this needs to
So
go with?
they also said it was a simple breakfast. So you said you didn't have breakfast, and so
Yes,
we
this
are
is
working a
correct.
croissant for breakfast.
Okay.
So if you have an idea for later on how to celebrate, we can also do a shout out. Like I know that our community education are doing cooking classes, as well as the Volt Center's kitchen. So this would be a great opportunity if you're interested in having how to make a croissant. Put it in the comments, and we'll reach out to you. That'd be
Yeah,
a fun
sure. I
thing
don't
to
know
do.
if we have croissant making classes.
We
but
don't.
Yeah, maybe we should, though.
We should.
I know one of our instructors, Maite, they have croissants at Maite's as well.
They
I had
do.
one this week, actually.
Yes, and she's
Very
got
good.
some beautiful chocolate-filled ones and some almond-filled ones. So one of the other things you can do to celebrate this holiday is give a shout out and go patronize our local bakers. There are several like Mate and Famous, and there's a couple other ones in town
And then if you go to I think Morgan's, you get a plate of them with every meal.
with
right?
honey.
Yeah.
With warm honey. Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, so go and enjoy that. I did not make these or buy them from our local bakery. I went to Publix.
You didn't laminate them for us?
I did not laminate them, but I did get them for $5.99 for a pack of 10. So
Oh.
I like it.
they were on special.
But now I kind of like the idea of laminating it. Like I want to laminate it and make it into a badge and walk around with just like a croissant clipped to my shirt.
Yeah,
See
or a
where that gets
keychain.
me. Can
Or
I
a
get into places with
or
that?
a keychain. We could dip it like in epoxy, and then we could have like
I
a
like it.
croissant.
You remember
keychain.
when people would dip their baby shoes in bronze?
Yes.
Whatever happened to that?
I
My
don't
mom
know.
has some of my baby shoes dipped in bronze. Christina's looking at me like she doesn't know what I'm talking
You know,
about.
I think I do, yes.
Charles, you know what I'm talking about. You've
Absolutely,
seen-
I do.
And I don't know why people did it in the first place. I'm sure it's a thing. Maybe it'll be a thing of the day one day.
The price of bronze went up dramatically
Maybe
from
that's
when you
it.
were born.
Yeah, they're
So
just like,
maybe
we-
that's why.
Yeah, what are we doing with all this bronze? We got to save this.
See the laminate? See, that's how that.
Everybody gets trophy.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's on their trophy.
It's very
That's
yummy.
right.
I'm gonna take a bite.
Are we all supposed to do this?
Oh, yeah.
flaky.
Yeah, we can have something.
Okay.
That's
It's
fine.
flaky, so
I didn't
enjoy.
know.
It's
All
very
right.
yummy.
So for those who are watching us on the live stream, we were having some struggles getting the signal in here today, so we can't see right now. But Holly may be able to see something in the studio, maybe not. We'll see. But put in the comments, where do you like to have your croissants? What's your favorite kind of
And
croissant?
do you like a croissant sandwich? I at Carolina Bagel, they have a great chicken salad on croissant. It's one of my favorite.
It's very buttery.
And get it toasted. It's really yummy. So sorry they're not warm. I'm sorry you don't have strawberry jelly or something else to dip it in, but it's yummy.
That's
Be good with
okay.
coffee. Don't choke.
Don't apologize.
Okay,
You
I
brought
won't.
us a gift of croissants.
I did.
We should be thanking you, not you apologizing
The-
to us.
I-
That's the world we want to live in.
It is yes, I love you with butter.
Exactly.
And candlewick
Yeah, and
Yes, and
laminate.
candle and yes, and doilies.
and doilies. Well,
Yeah.
they're not really doilies. That's a placemat.
True that.
So-
I didn't want to call y'all out on
That's
that.
okay.
Yeah. That's okay. So, although it is Croissant Day,
We have other things to talk about.
that's right. Like the foundation
Yes.
and upcoming CFAs as well, right?
Right, the
Absolutely.
15th annual.
Yeah, that's huge. How 15? How is
15.
it that far along? How have we had that many of those?
Well, one of the things I would say with the Community Fabric Awards, it's been around for 15 years. It's a testament to the individuals, I think, in the community and what they do to make this community such a strong community. Now, I'm using community a lot there, but it's the Community Fabric
Yeah, it's in the
Awards.
title. It's okay.
So it's okay.
It's called branding.
But the whole theme of this awards is to celebrate the fabric that intertwines our community. And there's so many people And those strong individuals, whether it's the individual or the business or the educator, makes our area such a great place to live. And you go down, you look at last year's recipients of the Community Fabric Awards. In the individual leadership, we had Linda McDonald. And then for our business leadership, it was International Paper. And when you talk about International Paper and what they have done and continue to do in the community to help so many different organizations, it's just amazing what they give back to the community. And then our educator leadership award last year went to Eddie Foster, the dean of the Volt Center. And the Volt Center has been really a creative way of helping reach a lot of individuals.
So I think we brought a picture of last year's recipients, didn't we, Joseph? Did we?
I'll just throw it at him. That's good.
Oh, I did. So, well, also, side note, I was supposed to send those yesterday, and I came in here 15 minutes ago. Thank you so much for being flexible, Joseph, and said, hey, can you take this picture?
We're team players.
And one thing that I'd like to announce, we've got breaking news here.
Oh, there they are.
On the
there they are.
the previous slide that he had up, where he listed the 3 different awards, it says the deadline is February 17th. Well, we all know that Snowmageddon hit us last week, and that put some people behind. So we're going to extend that, and that's going to hit our website and all here within the next day or so. We're extending that deadline to February 21st.
Okay.
To that Friday instead of the Monday. So give you people a few extra days just because of the Snowmageddon and folks not being able to get out and about and kind of shutting down the region.
It threw all of our schedules off, for sure. A lot of things that were supposed to get done last week got pushed into this week, and the things that need to happen this week still are in this week. So, yeah.
And last week was a short week, too, because of celebrating Martin Luther King's Monday.
Yes, that's right.
So,
Yeah. By the way, it's totally random, but I've got a Martin Luther King quote that's just really been in my brain, and I'm paraphrasing here, and I hope I don't butcher it. I want to think off the top of my head. You know, it's darkness cannot get rid of darkness. Only light can, right? And hate cannot get rid of hate. Only love can. And I think that's just...
You've been saving that one, have you?
It's just... It's,
That's a good... I mean, I had
it's just been... I try and think about that with so much stuff going on. That,
that's right.
And so much divisiveness that... I try and share love.
well, one area we don't find divisiveness is, can I say that word again?
Divisiveness?
Divisiveness
Divisions.
is the collaboration with the foundation and in the community. That is not divided. And that's something that I have seen grow exponentially just in my time here as well. And as our community is affected by different things, I see everybody, all kinds of walks of life, everybody coming together and making something happen. And I know that, Charles, you love bringing stories about how those things happen, and that is what keeps us going to have these Fabric Awards every year.
Right. And it's important to remember that the proceeds from the Fabric Awards goes right back into the foundation and helping support the initiatives of Craven Community College, and they're varied in so much. And I go back to that quote, and I'm going to tie that kind of quote into the Community Fabric Awards, because when you look at the recipients of the Community Fabric Awards in the past, these are people that are out in the community, and they're showing love, by their work, their effort, and their energy, and making this place a better place. They're not doing it by dividing, they're doing it by collaboration, by pulling people in and making this a stronger community. It's the fabric. It's all of us working together, and if we all would put that work and show those examples of these recipients in the past. And it's kind of interesting because in getting ready for this, I was looking through, and being the 15th year, I've got about 5 pages of recipients here.
Wow.
Over the years, and when you go back in,
and he's not going to read them all.
I'm not going to read them all.
But he's going to give you some highlights.
Yeah, I think that's my cue to not be long-winded here.
Pick the top 3. No,
going back to 2011, which was the initial year of this, the recipients were Bob Maddox, and certainly you talk about a leader in this community, and
Yes.
Bob Maddox has touched so many organizations and continues to touch so
Absolutely.
many
And
organizations.
does it quietly.
And Minji's Bottling Company, Minji's is there, has been a long time company, and they have done so much. And then Bruce Waugh was the educator and Bruce was faculty here at Craven Community College in our computer sciences program, and was just such a great guy and did so much in education.
Well, it's just become such a great event and such a prestigious honor as well. You mentioned that introductory class of the first recipients, and it's just continued to stay at that high level each year after year. So it's always great this time of year when we have the nominations open, because it's a time for us to recognize those individuals and find other people that you may not even know the type of work that they're doing, but somebody else does, and they're able to help help them with those applications. So for people who maybe have never done the application process or know the complexities or how easy it is or any of that, what's the easiest way to kind of help people get that process going?
So we have, can you show the slide again? Thank you, Joseph, which I gave to you 15 minutes ago. So the easiest way is to, of course, go to cravencc.edu/CFA, and you scroll down the page. It says Nominate Now. You'll open that up in all three categories. You choose the one that best fits who you would like to nominate, and then it takes you to a Google form. You can also come to the office in the Brock Building on New Bern campus, and I have also printed out some applications if you have trouble going onto the Google form. That's no problem.
Yep.
It'll only take me a couple minutes, and I don't mind at all.
Yep.
Right, and one of the things we want to stress there is we don't want any barriers to anybody nominating anyone.
Right, exactly.
So if you run into any problems, call Christina, call me. There's contact information on the website at that address. Just ask questions. Please just let us know. And one of the other things I'll say about nominations, I'd like to let everybody know, because there have been so many, it's 15 years, there's been a lot of people nominated, and we can only have one recipient in each category each year. And sometimes we'll have as many as 10 or 15 nominations in that category. And I would like to encourage anyone who has submitted an application in the past and that person wasn't selected, it doesn't mean that they weren't deserving. It means that we can only get one person.
Sure.
Right.
And I've sat in on the selection committee, and I'll let Christina talk about the selection committee in just a second, but in sitting in with the selection committees, they struggle to come up with that one person. And there's some really qualified people that weren't selected. So if you've submitted an application, you've got the bulk of what you need right there. Put that application back in, because some of the recipients that when you look down the list, and those lists is on the website as well, some of those applications were in 4 or 5 times before they were selected as a recipient.
Yeah, I believe
Not
that.
because they weren't deserving, because they were deserving. But there's just so many, and you have to make that tough decision of which is that one recipient that you're going to select for that year.
So each category has a committee, right? And sometimes they serve on the same ones. Most of the time they don't, and they consist of a past recipient, an African American, and a female. It is the actually fairest process I've ever seen.
Yep.
They get a scorecard, and they tally it up, and then it's given back to me.
Right. It's just they work the rubric and then sit down and discuss. And sometimes those discussions can be, 45 minutes or so.
Of course, yeah.
When you get down to the last couple, and
Right.
we try and weed it down, and we'll kind of do that, take that rubric and take the scores and say, okay, these were here, and does anybody feel strongly, and then we keep narrowing that down until we get to the final recipient. It's a tough process, and I can't stress enough that just because I should also say that we never say who had a nomination in.
Correct.
That's something that's between the people that create the nomination and put it in, and we kind of swear the committee to secrecy. We actually meet in a whole separate area. So it's kind of we're very obscure with when we meet to go over these, so that the people on the committee don't feel pressure, because we don't want anybody to say, well, they're going to find out what I did, so we need to make sure this
Right.
person's there.
Felt
And that's, again,
influenced.
speaks to that part of trying to be as fair as we are with this. And so if you've put that application in before for someone and that nomination and they weren't selected, put it back in, because there were a lot of people that I've seen
Yes.
that had nominations in that the committee had a really hard time going between the last couple of three, and those people were very deserving, and it's just a great.
With the pushback of the deadline for people to turn in their application, when do you estimate having those three people, those three individuals, recognized, like being able to make the announcement? What's your goal for that?
It would most likely be right around the end of February, about the February 28th, because we've got a quick turnaround. We're monitoring the applications as they come in.
Okay.
We're sorting those out. We're getting them ready. We start, and it's an interesting thing, again, trying to be fair. We have a pool of individuals that we kind of keep in mind, but we have to wait until we get all the applications in until we can set the committees.
Sure.
Because we have to look for conflicts of interest.
Yeah.
So if somebody is, a real close friend with one of the applicants, then we really can't put that person on the
Yeah.
committee. So
Maybe
we'll
they should
shift
be on a
them over.
different committee.
Yeah,
Right.
we shift them over to another committee, and we try and shuffle the committees around. Of course, New Bern's a small community, so everybody kind of knows everybody, but
Right.
we try and avoid those major conflicts in there.
And you can see that community feel when you have the actual event and celebration of the recipients, right? Because it's become a who's who of events in New Bern for sure, in Craven County. But also the people who are recognized always have this support structure of everybody who wants to come and
Right.
recognize them. I know last year we had people coming from all over the state to the awards just because it was people that they wanted to recognize. You can see, again, the recipients from last year. Right, and it just shows. Go ahead.
We should mention again, this year Warden Smith is a presenting sponsor of the 15th Annual Community Fabric Awards.
Yay! Thanks, Warden Smith.
Thank you, Warden Smith.
Yeah, so you want to talk about the event a little bit? So that will be coming up, and remind us the date of that.
April 29th.
Okay, April 29th. And so for people who have not been before, our recipients have an opportunity to speak.
Correct.
And be recognized. We also hear from our students, right? And so you can
At
see
the
Dr.
Convention
Stats
Center.
there. So once again at the Convention Center.
That's correct.
Yep.
And I will say that this event,
Look at us.
Hey, look, we did a live stream last year of
Yep.
the red carpet event. Yeah.
Right?
yes, and that's quite a fun time. We had the blue carpet,
Blue carpet.
Blue
that's right.
carpet.
Yeah.
right? Because
Craven
Craven Blue.
That's right.
So we had the blue carpet event for the sponsors that
Yeah.
kind of came in and got a little interview, and thank you both for
Yeah.
being there
was
and,
fun.
and doing that.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And as you said, the Community Fabric Awards is kind of a great networking event
It
because
is.
there's 450-ish in attendance there. It's kind of a who's who of the area.
That's right.
And there's a lot of connections that are made. People linger after the Community Fabric Awards because it's there's so many people and people are talking and kind of doing that networking. But I will tell you, we work very hard. It is a 90-minute event. You're going to get in. It's going to start on time and it's going to end on time. And we've done that at least for the last 6 years that I've been involved. We've been very tight on those timelines because we respect people's times. And we know that it's a lunch, so people have to get back to work. So we do that 90 minutes and then you can walk right out the door.
Yeah.
So we know this is a fundraiser also for the foundation. So you also have a big campaign that you're always ongoing. I mean, I know you have kickoffs, but you're always open for donations. You're always open for
Anytime.
philanthropy. Yes, exactly. Any phone call.
Right.
And sponsorships for the CFAs as
Correct.
well, right? Let's
And
not
we're
forget
currently
that.
looking sponsors. If you'd like to be a part of a sponsorship of this event, certainly call and let us know. And my favorite line is, what's the best nation in the world? It's a donation. So, if you'd like to support, and again, as we talk about this, it is reaching out in the end and the funds we raise, and we typically will net about $45,000 to $50,000 a year out of this event. So it's a huge event, and that goes back in supporting the initiatives here at Craven
So,
Community
Christina,
College.
you and I work often, because a student will walk in my office that's in need, sometimes grave need, and I instantly pick up the phone to find out, okay, what's the best avenue. Share a little bit about the numbers and the amount that and the growth that you've had because of the community's generosity.
So, of course, we have our endowments and scholarships, but we also have student requests for not just tuition registration, but we have gas cards or nursing stethoscopes. That is done through anyone in the college, but we work mostly with student services to put a request into the foundation.
Well, I know you guys have also been very... what's the word? Created the avenue for some other ones that have helped a lot of my students, especially our service members, whether they're transitioning service members, active duty, or veterans. You want to share a little bit about that, the ACT, the Allies?
So Allies for Cherry Point is a new scholarship that we have, and it goes towards our veterans and what was the other criteria?
Veterans and their dependents, and with the ACT scholarship, it that's just one of the many partnerships that we have with various groups throughout.
I apologize.
And the ACT scholarship is helping workforce development, as you talk about, with the airframe and power plant. A lot of individuals that are coming out of the military service have the skill sets they need. But in the military, they're not really big on certifications because it's they're going to train you. They're going to train you with what you need to know, and then you're going to do what you need to do. Well, in the civilian world, they've got to make sure that people understand they don't know, and so they have to pass certain certifications. And we do a lot of work with you on that and getting those individuals those certifications that they need to transition from military to civilian life.
Correct.
200 approximately 250 other scholarships, endowments, or funds that the foundation has for students, faculty, and staff.
Very good. That's exciting.
Yeah. You're always finding new avenues, right? It's kind of busting barriers is what this college does.
Barriers.
Yeah, I mean, removing them if it's in the way, whether it's a student financial need or getting them in the door or helping them fill out an application for anything. That's what we specialize at Craven.
If for those that don't know Christina and I very well, we don't take no. So we're like, no, we're just going to figure it out. So it's not really in our it's not in our vocabulary.
And
we make things happen.
It's rare that Charles says no.
Yeah,
honestly.
well, I mean, we can't help everybody, and I'll give you an example. We had an individual that registered for a class. The individual lived in Vanceboro and registered for a class here on campus, and we understand sometimes that transportation is an issue. So we've helped students. Like if a car broke down, we'll help them out in some way. We've paid for carts for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks to. Well, this individual put in a request, and they said, I've signed up for this class. It's an evening class, and I would like an executive Uber to pick me up and bring me to class and then take me home at the end of class for the entire class. And, well, obviously, we can't do that. But that was so. No, we can't. We don't approve. But if it's a reason,
no chauffeur service.
No, we apologize.
Yeah, basically they wanted the. Yeah, I'm not sure if they wanted them to wait in the parking lot while they were here, not for class. But we can't do that within reason. The story, and I shared this one with the board just recently. We had an individual that, because of domestic situations, had decided that they needed to get out of their marriage they were in. Now, this was an individual that was 60 years young. She was living in her car.
60 years young.
And that's just a rough spot to be. Well, the foundation stepped up and helped her get a CNA class. We paid for that, and we got the required course materials. She successfully completed that class, and in the meantime, she was able, because of her being in the CNA, there was an individual in the community that was a person that needed some assistance, an older person that needed some assistance, and so she was able to move into the house and help that person out. So that was a win-win.
Great.
And we're going to be paying for her CNA testing coming up here very soon. So in this case, we're talking about maybe $500, maybe just a little bit more than $500
to change
Yeah.
somebody's life.
Yes.
And it
And-
turned out to
Exactly.
change 2 people's lives.
Right,
So I have
and we've taken this person from living in their car to now having a path where they can be self-sufficient and can grow and have that self-respect and
Correct.
is contributing back to our community. And we're talking about $500. And I can give you other examples where we've done as little as
every week.
$50.
Yeah,
And
Every
week.
day. Every day.
and Megan, as you know, because you've called us and you know we're
Lots.
right there. I remember the lady that was in your office and in tears and
Which one?
Right.
yeah, right. And but and I just happened to
I
be
know.
on the campus and walked by and you called me in your office and within 30 minutes I was down and we covered her light bill, so that with the 3 kids at home and her taking her online classes that she had some stability in her life. And I think that's one of the things that over the last few years the foundation's been doing such a good job of is finding those students that are right on the edge and keeping them in to find those barriers. And sometimes it's as little as 100 and I forget what this person was in arrears like $150,
Yeah.
$175.
And bouncing back to International Paper, who was one of your recipients last year, they also help support our Panther Pantry, our food pantry on the
Correct.
3 different campuses. And I can tell you that's been a game changer for 2 of my students in one day. I mean, just this week. So that it doesn't matter if you just want to bring a couple bags of groceries or if you want to sponsor it in the future, just like International Paper does. I can promise you that it is. I got pictures back from the student. She sent me pictures. She's like, because Sylvia King, who's our campus life on Havelock campus, she said, is there anything specific or anything special? And I asked the student, she says, no, I just need food.
Right.
And then she sent me pictures of it. And then I sent it to Sylvia, and I'm like, this is why we do what we do.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
with the Community Fabric Awards, if businesses would like to sponsor the Community Fabric Awards, that's great. But maybe you're involved in a civic organization and you're looking for some cause. We have a number of groups that are helping fill those pantries up. Not only at Havelock, but you talk about at the Volt Center. The Volt Center is very fragile people. There's people that come to the Volt Center that don't have lunch and don't have the means to get lunch. And so they're providing a lot of folks with some, just kind of ready-made meals. They've got a microwave. So cup of soups kind of things are happening there. But it's a great thing if you work for a nonprofit organization. You're saying, we really need a service project out there. Why don't you adopt one of the food pantries and just kind of help provide some of the food there?
They
Because
can't learn if they're hungry.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, one of the primary needs you got to satisfy.
One of the what'd you say, barrier breaker?
Barrier buster.
Yeah, buster.
But Megan didn't like that one, so I have to come up with something else.
It just tickled me
kinda
funny. I
liked
think
it.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're busting them barriers.
That's right.
Busting
yeah.
it.
That's
Every
what
day.
we're doing. Buried it.
Yeah.
we'll have to
Right?
get Christina a cape.
No, I'm
Yes,
good.
I like
I'm
it.
good.
See, when you said
With
that,
a B on the chest. right?
I was envisioning like a football player, with the pads and the helmet and busting the barriers. That's what I envisioned when you said it.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's what made me laugh. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
so before we talk about some other stuff, anything else you guys want to highlight, reiterate about the Fabric Awards, the nominations?
Okay,
Nominations are open.
just as a recap, we've extended the deadline to February 21st. If you've submitted an application before and that person was not accepted, did not resubmit it, because
Yep.
there's some very deserving people that have had applications in that would win, but just was not selected at that particular year to get those in.
And if you have any trouble submitting your Google form or just want a printed copy, and that's fine, you can call me at 252-638-7351.
Yeah, because we did have a person come in and say, I don't know
We've had
nothing about,
two.
I don't have
Right.
anything, I don't know nothing about computers,
And that's okay.
but I got somebody I want to
Yeah,
nominate.
that's
We said,
okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
here's
that's
some
okay.
paper forms, you fill them
Yeah.
out, and we'll make sure we get everything.
Sounds like somebody busted a barrier.
we busted a barrier. There we go.
Busting them barriers.
That's right. And also to recap, sponsorships are available
Yes.
for the CFA.
Sponsorships and
correct.
individual tickets if you'd like to just go. So either way, it
Or
will be
if you're a
quite-
business or a group of friends,
Yes.
church group, go ahead and buy a whole table.
Yes, we have
It's a
different
great way to
levels.
support the foundation.
You can
the
look right on our
Rotary
website.
Club of New Bern, usually it's on the same day as their meeting, and they will bring like 30 people from the Rotary, or
Great.
plus 30
They
to
get their
40 people,
tables.
and they'll have their meeting at the Community Fabric Awards.
Yes.
That's kind of
And we appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. All right, Charles, Christina, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank
with
you
us
for
today.
having us
Yeah,
again.
we always love talking about the foundation.
We had to butter them up first.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
All right.
So we can bust barriers.
We could
That's
bust
right.
barriers with the butter.
with the butter.
I like alliteration.
All right, great. Well, thanks again for being on the show today. All right, I think it's that time, Megan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
It's time for community events. Memphis the Musical this Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Join the Rivertown Players for an electrifying production of Memphis at the Masonic Theater in downtown New Bern. Set in the turbulent 1950s, this Tony Award-winning show tells the story of Huey Calhoun, a white DJ who falls in love with Felicia Farrell, a talented black singer. Their journey is filled with passion, heartbreak, and a soundtrack that will have you tapping your feet. Tickets are $20 for adults, $10 for students, and can be purchased at rivertownplayers.org.
Calendar Girls. That's me. Visit the
You a
New
calendar girl?
I'm a calendar girl. Just call me August. Visit the New Bern Civic Theater January 31st at 7:30 p.m. to see the stage adaptation of acclaimed 2003 film Calendar Girls, a true story of friendship, determination, acceptance, and knowing when to let go. Tickets can be purchased either at newberncivictheater.org or at the box office, Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 4 p.m. This is rated PG-13. Tickets are selling out fast, so get them while you can. Now, that starts on the 31st, but it's going through February 9th. I have my ticket for Sunday the 2nd.
Excellent.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun
Aren't
show.
you excited I'm getting back in that theater?
I really
Yes,
am,
so I do
yeah.
have tickets for the Sunday the 2nd, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And going with some girlfriends,
Great.
and then we're going to go out to dinner afterwards.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, so it opens up this Friday.
Yeah, so I will be there Sunday. Matinee.
Great. The Polar Plunge. Participants will take a plunge into the Neuse River at Lawson Creek Park to benefit Special Olympics in North Carolina. This event is all about having fun and supporting these athletes. Speaking of fun, there will be a costume contest for the plungers with prizes for the top 3. Registration opens at 10 a.m. with the plunge at 11 and lunch and awards at noon. To take part in the plunge, you only need to raise $50. Not bad.
Not bad. I just wonder, where are they going to jump from Lawson Creek?
I was wondering the same thing as well, but
Yeah,
I'm sure they've got it all worked out.
I'm sure they do.
There's a new dock back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Okay. Also, it's not on our community events, but if you want to go to the next county over, they're going to be doing their chocolate festival right there next to Carteret Community College at their Civic
Crystal
Civic
Coast
Center.
Civic Center. Yeah.
So that's going on this weekend. So I bet you can get a chocolate croissant while you're there.
I'm sure you can.
Yes.
I used to live there. They would have a chocolate eating contest too.
The pudding.
They put pudding on a paper plate and then just go after it. Yeah. Also happening today, by the way, we have a ribbon cutting that's happening at the Heavy Equipment Operations Building
11:30.
on the Volt campus. Yeah, that's right, at 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool new program there. We have simulators on the campus there where people can learn how to operate backhoes and big, large, heavy machinery.
Okay. And also community events. We know the Big Jim Brown Band. Did I say that correct? Was postponed because of the storm.
Correct.
And so I know that there's new dates have been put on the February 28th or
No, I
something.
think it's March 21st.
Okay.
I believe. Check online. The date will be online
Yeah.
there, and maybe
Holly knows the date, though.
Yes,
She's saying the
Holly.
date in there.
Holly,
Do you
what
know the
is
date,
it?
Holly?
March 21st.
March 21st is
Okay,
what
I
Holly
was right
says.
with March
Go
21st on
Charles.
that.
All right, great.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
got it. We
it's
got
been
it.
yes.
Yeah, so good. So anyway, so I'm sure there's more stuff coming on. If you are curious about what else you can do here at Craven Community College, we recommend that you go to our website. If you have questions, come by Student Services, come by see one of us. We're happy to talk to you.
That's right. Always happy to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else, Craig?
No, we got to talk about who our guest is next week. Don't want to
Oh.
forget that. That's
I
right.
miss that?
We'll be joined by the director of the Small Business Center at the Volt
did.
Center, Jeff Wilkie, to discuss the new Small Business Generator building opening February 18th.
Woohoo!
Yep, very exciting stuff.
Very good. All right. Well, good. So that will be our 102nd episode.
102.
102.
Yeah, getting a fever. Is that how it is?
We're heating up.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. In the meantime, we will see you next time, but stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.